Below expectations. If there is a new buzz phrase that is upsetting people and is used in AAA game publishing industry, it is below expectations and its various cousins, including only X million copies sold and why game sold a disappointing X million copies. People have gotten triggered by this phrase. It's gained recent relevance for me due to the poor performance of Anthem, commercial and a reception state. Pretty much anyone paying attention to the industry is waiting for the announcement from EA that they'll be shutting down BioWare. I'm waiting for enough time to pass before I speak more about this. For now, let's focus on how selling any million of anything can be considered a disappointment. Like I said, people have been getting really triggered about this, and rightfully so. All we mortals would love to make anything that sells even 1 million, let alone the 9 million that EA considered a disappointment for Battlefront 2. With enough enticing, I'd be willing to sacrifice my left nut to get 250,000 views just for this video. And it's not even monetized. So you can see how the sentiment triggers people a little bit, me included. But allow me just this one moment to explain why the words only and disappointment are put in there, without getting too complicated into it. Shares on the stock exchange trade at a price. The price is based on what cash investors expect they will be getting for the share. If I expect that one share will make me 200 Rand, I won't pay more than 200 Rand. I'm using South African rands, by the way. People outside of South Africa, I don't know, stick a different currency on it. Anyway, moral of the story. If I don't think I'll get more than 200 Rand, I won't pay more than 200. If I pay 200 and I get only 150, that's a disappointment. I made a financial loss. Now, in the above, I'm oversimplifying it. And I'm also ignoring the concept of returns.
Shut up and get to the point!
Didi Mala, I'm getting there. See, on an oversimplified level, the game publishing companies operate in a model where money is invested in a new game. Then they make forecast expectations of how much they believe the game will sell. Step 1 is forecasting sales. Forecasting sales is a very important step. Once they've forecasted the sales, they then work their way down to tell how much money they will make in profits.
I don't get it. You see, phase 1, collect underpants. Phase 2, phase 3, profit.
From this, they basically tell the markets and investors, if you buy a share in our company, this game release will make you 200 Rand per share. The investors then rely on this and buy the shares, expecting 10 million copies to be sold. But then the game does poorly and sells 9 million copies. The investors only get 150 Rand for the share they bought 200 Rand for. They get upset, they sell the shares, and in so doing, oddly enough, drops the price to 150 Rand. It's a pretty weird system that we've all constructed, but trust me, we all subscribe to it.
Oh, I get it. No, you don't, fat ass.
To use an analogy gamers understand, think of it as hours in a game. Remember how people got off with the Order 1886 because the game came out at such a high price but reportedly ended up only being like 5 hours of gameplay? Well, think retail price as share price and hours as profits, and you're about halfway there. Now before you get all, oh, those greedy corporate fat cat shareholders on me, it's at this point that I have to remind you, the same system has made you complicit in its mechanics. Shareholders in the market aren't some monocled Mrs. Monopoly, that's right, hashtag feminism, counting money from a high ivory tower looking at the plebs. Well, yes, that's one type of shareholder, but they're not the only type. The other type is, well, probably you and me. Most people don't realize that they are the greedy shareholders they protest against. If you have any form of retirement funding, be it a provident, a pension, or a retirement annuity fund, if you have any form of education fund, unit trusts that are structured for you, if you have any form of insurance policy, medical aid, household, car, or life insurance, all these products have connected you in some way or another to being a shareholder. Up until a few months ago, probably most 401ks in the US had shares in EA or Blizzard Activision or any of the other publicly listed AAA publishers. The f***ed up part is that whilst I'm South African, so the impact on me is very diluted by comparison, whilst you despise them for what they did to employees and to the products that we love, you needed them to do that, and you still need them to. That's because you need them to make sure that the share you bought for $20 last year is worth $22 this year and continues to grow until you retire. Why? Because when you retire, there's no job. You have to live off what the fund amount is and to run it down hoping that you die before it runs out. Pretty bleak stuff, but that's pretty much what it is at an elementary level. Ever since the gaming industry, especially game publishing, became such a lucrative industry, things have changed dramatically. Suddenly, it became subject to the same corporate games that all other stalwart industries like manufacturing and mining were subject to. They introduced overly paid, seemingly clever people to make more money by spending less and then paying them more than they deserve after that. Your boy Jim Sterling done given the right amount of passion on this, so take a look at the link below. So what's the best way to make the most money while spending the least? Because it's called live service, you little Games stopped being a product many years ago. It had always been going that way. Activision just made it a visual and articulated it. Now, games themselves are just the platform that you join, which the game companies can make more money from you. It's like Facebook. Only this time you actually pay thousands of rands to join and then hundreds more while you're on it. At this point, the game is actually no longer a product. It's just a conduit. You are no longer the customer. You are the product. The live service model and AAA gaming technology arms race has gone on steroids in the last 20 years, maybe even more. Plenty of YouTubers have covered this and plenty have covered why. But what's concerning for me, and is quite important, is to remember that the US savings and loan industry was also on steroids for the United States until 1989. The US tech industry was also on steroids until the year 2000. The global financial institutions with their mortgage-backed securities and subprime lending, they went on some serious steroids until 2008. Now we have the gaming industry on steroids and... Wait, what year is it again? I'm sure it's nothing. Anyway, live service has got to be the cheekiest legal business model I've ever come across in my life. They are literally making us pay to enjoy something we've already paid for. The industry stopped giving a shit about gamers a long time ago. The sooner we get that, the sooner we can reduce our anxiety medication dosages. Unless you have an anxiety order like I do, then you're pretty much for the rest of your life. But still, take your meds, it helps. Another way we can stop this madness, I hear you say, is to stop enabling them and stop buying these products. Kill the demand and they will stop the supply. This is true. The reason they keep selling a is because we keep buying the Why do we get a new and emptier Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed every single year? Because we keep buying them. Why do they keep hitting us with pre-order bullshit? Because we keep buying it. Why do they keep putting in loot boxes and microtransactions? Because we keep buying them. And some of us are legitimately addicted. They don't believe that they're just cosmetic and purely optional.
They're counting on it!
They'll stop selling them when we stop buying them, so we need to stop enabling them, is what would be the right thing to say, except when revenues fall and profits fall, job losses increase. And no, it's not the top overpaid people that made the strategic decisions that are the first to go.
Fire Bobby Kotick.
Maybe it's because the industry isn't regulated and unionized. And I know that is a swear word in the United States. In South Africa, unionized is pretty much like saying a company's taxed, which apparently is also a swear word in the US. Either way, maybe it's because it's not regulated or unionized. But the gaming industry is in some serious need of self-reflection and change, and we give them far too many free passes. It's a business, and businesses are there to make money, is the most reckless mantra and narrative that we use to excuse atrocious behaviors of companies that demand to be recognized as a person for legal purposes, but expect to be exempt from the same social contracts and standards other natural persons are bound to. They're here to make money is a completely inadequate reason in an argument. Drug dealers are here to make money. Child prostitute peddlers are here to make money. Making money is not the issue, it's how you make the money. Making money selling alcohol is fine. Making money selling alcohol to minors and alcoholics? Not fine. Making money from selling clothes? Fine. Making money from selling clothes manufactured in inhumane conditions that are globally declared a human rights violation? Not fine. See, it's not a difficult concept, is it? We place standards and parameters on how persons, all persons, natural and legal, make money. Gaming companies should not be allowed to be exempt from this, and we should not enable them to be. I genuinely hope that BioWare is not in the firing line of being EA's next story of a studio that's been shut down. I genuinely hope BioWare pulls through this and does not get shut down in the same way that EA has shut down so many other studios. Rich, coming from a person who dedicates so much of their time doing fan art of EA property. But it is because I'm such a fan that I genuinely have to speak up and call out when the bullshit starts. I know there's been a lot of contact and feedback from the BioWare staff, basically saying that no, they are not in trouble. My concern is that I haven't seen that coming from any EA staff and EA management, and it's their opinion that matters, not bioware. I genuinely hope they recover, they get back on their feet. I hope to see another Dragon Age. I hope to see another Mass Effect, and I hope to see a lot more single-player, narrative-driven RPGs from BioWare. And I think we all do. May all your dreams come true, provided you work for them. Koto.